Zoning Board of Adjustment of Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial board created by the City of Ames. The board's purpose is to decide on applications for home occupation permits, special use permits, exceptions, and variances to the zoning ordinance. Applications for conditional use permits in the floodplain, requests for reasonable accommodation because of a handicap, and appeals of decisions of the zoning enforcement officer. As a board of the city, we welcome all testimony. We make our decisions based on the facts and evidence as allowed under city code and presented in open meeting. Testimony before the board must be given under oath or affirmation. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that testimony be focused on new facts or evidence not already presented. We ask that you come to the microphone if you wish to speak so that your testimony will be audible and may be recorded. Before speaking, please complete an orange information card and hand it to the recording secretary. Those are normally located right outside the door. When you are testifying, please address your remarks to the board. We also ask that the proceedings be orderly. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is an independent volunteer board of citizens. We are not part of the city administration. We are served in our efforts by Jane Chang, Assistant City Attorney, Justin Moore, City Planner, and Carly Watson, Recording Secretary. The order of proceedings for each application will be as follows. First, an oral statement summarizing the issues and procedural steps will be presented by the staff. Second, testimony and evidence will be presented by the applicant. Third, testimony may be heard from any members of the audience who wish to speak in support of or in opposition to the appeal. Next, the board will give the applicant and the city staff an opportunity to present concluding summaries and arguments. And finally, the board will discuss the issues and evidence and come to a decision. The first item in the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes of the meeting of June 8th, 2022.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
The motion is declared approved.
You better take a vote, but
All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chad and I will not be voting because we were not here.
wasn't here.
The second item in the agenda is a request for a variance for stairs encroaching into the rear yard setback at 505 8th Street.
Right. Thank you very much. Item before you tonight was submitted by Chuck Winkleblack with Hunziker Companies. They are applying for a variance for structured stairs in the rear setback on the north side of the building, the apartment building located at 505 8th Street, as you see there on the map up on the screen. The bit about the building: this is a 12-unit apartment building. Was constructed in the early 1970s. The structure in question in the rear setback on the north side has been on the building for the vast majority, if not all, of its existence. The zoning designation here, as you can see on the map, is medium density residential. This is also located in the single family conservation and historic overlay districts as well. The reason for the request for the variance coming forward: there is an existing stair deck structure there on the building. However, it is aging and getting ready to fall into disrepair. The purpose of the stairs is to provide a compliant secondary access to the building for the residents of the upper two floors. And this is also used as emergency access. It is required by building code as well as the rental code. And the stairs are required to be compliant in their construction. And as a result, what would occur with the new stairs, I'll go ahead and show you here real quick, is you can see there on the north side of the building, the existing plan or the existing conditions. I'll try to zoom in as best as I can. The resolution's a bit hard to pick out, but here's the existing deck. You see right here a sidewalk that leads to the parking lot, and right now provides access to the structured stairs there. The new site plan roughly the same size deck. There are some additional stairs that come down on the north side. So it does extend a little bit further into the rear setback than it already is. However, it won't extend further than this sidewalk here that leads to the parking lot. And so with that, the current stair deck is 6'11" into the required setback, and the proposed new deck will be 11'4" into the required rear setback. So that's a 4'5" extension due to the need to meet current code standards for stairs like these that provide secondary ingress egress and for a second route of evacuation. So the north wall of the building is right at the rear setback line. There's the 25-foot rear setback line. And so the current stairs and the proposed stairs would be completely within the setback. I'll go through just and summarize real quickly the findings of staff. When we took a look at it, what we came to the conclusion of, I'll get you a little better view here. There's a better side view of what's proposed. In order to meet evacuation requirements and secondary ingress egress per building code, there's really no other way to do it for the upper two floors except to completely redesign or reconstruct the building. So in summary, when we looked at this, the idea of making a property owner do that to the building versus just reconstructing stairs that have already been there and can otherwise meet building code standards was seen to be a hardship and therefore met the criteria for a variance. We go through it there and we list out the criteria and our findings, but bottom line is there are a few other properties in the neighborhood that do have this similar type of setup. They're small apartment buildings. The vast majority of the structures in the neighborhood are single family homes, so they don't have to typically contend with this sort of setup. Again, you've got 2 floors of units being served by these, and they do need to be repaired. So again, to completely redesign or reconstruct the building would be seen to be unreasonable in the eyes of staff. So in the addendum there, we give you our findings of fact and our conclusions, items A, items B, and then under B, subsection 1, 2, and 3, as well as items C and D, all are met in terms of the criteria to issue a variance. So I can go through any particular specifics of the report if you'd like, if you have any specific questions at this time. Otherwise, I'll open it back up for the board.
Does anybody have any questions for staff?
Do you know if it's just basically I noticed the stairs are reoriented so they go out perpendicular from the building, the bottom set? Is that just the 4 feet then basically?
That's the vast majority of it. I
Okay.
think there's just a slight increase in the deck distance. But again, there are some things, and talking with the assistant building official, there was a slight change in size that was needed just to meet some of the modern building code standards versus several years ago. So,
Anyone else? Would the applicant wish to speak? Did you fill out an orange information card? Can you fill it out right after so that she can put your information?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
What?
Nothing.
What's your name and address, please?
Chuck Winkleblack, Hunziker Companies, 105 South 16th Street.
And do you sort of tell the truth?
I do.
Okay.
I'm here basically just to answer any questions. Again, the big reason that we're doing this is the building code has changed from when the property was built 50 years ago. The rise and run requires more distance and takes up more space to do it to be compliant with the building code. So we've worked with Justin and staff, and so we would hope that you would approve the request. Happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any question for the applicant?
I have a design question. On the stairs for the first floor, why didn't you just run them out the other direction alongside the building instead of perpendicular? So have them run to the right in the picture instead of.
Again, because you're sending people away from the parking lot that direction even further, and then we'd have to come around and go back.
Just wondered, and it's a design question. Doesn't really matter for the. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they were trying to like put them on the path to be able to exit. and
Straight
not-
out,
Yeah,
away.
and not have to turn around and go
Right.
back.
I figured there's probably a fire code conjunction. All right, that's the only question I had.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chuck, if you can fill out the card and give it to Carly. Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak? And with that, we close the public hearing. Justin, do you have any other, does the board have any questions for the city or the applicant at this point?
I move that we adopt alternative number 1 and use the finding of facts from the report.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 The motion is declared approved. Any person desiring to appeal this decision to a court of record may do so within 30 days after the filing of the decision. And that was the last item of the agenda. I will take a motion to adjourn. I will move to adjourn.
I'll second.
That is a motion by Amar, a second by Chad. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.